Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, whatever time it is around the bloody globe for you guys. Welcome to another day of ESL Challenger League for the Asian region. I'm Mac. I'm joined once again by my beautiful PIC, partner in crime, for those that don't know. Jim Niso, mate, welcome to Asia. How you doing?
Welcome to Asia. It feels like so long since I've actually covered any Asian games, but it's great to be back. Who doesn't need a little bit of Asian CS in their life? I certainly do think we all need a little bit of it. And the matches are always entertaining. Good for better or for worse, who knows. But look, either way, it's exciting to be on board. I'm excited for the match that we've got ahead tonight too.
Yeah, hopefully it pays the bills. You know, we did have one. I think we were going to watch Tyloo and see where they were at. Did you see? I think they got dumpstered like 13-0 by Mongols in this qual for the Esports World Cup. And that happened. So, look, maybe it's a good thing that we're not watching Tyler today. But, of course, this is where everyone's currently sitting on the ladder. GR Gaming, they have pumped their matches. Look at that. I think there has been a lot of forfeits. You know, Rare Atom, of course, bit of a dead team, unfortunately. So, they've gone 0-30 nice and early. But, yeah, GR Gaming have gotten a lot of their games already out of the way with Mongols, who are undefeated, trying to catch up in terms of the games played.
Yeah, absolutely. Still got a lot to, you know, I guess quite a few games in hand. So they're sitting pretty to potentially top the group as well. And I think, you know, you've certainly got other teams in there like ATOX, who we're going to see tonight, like Linvision as well, who are within striking distance. But again, we're just going to see how things play out. Mongols are yet to drop any games so far. So I think that's a pretty strong statement, given how every other team has some split series in there one way or another.
Beautiful. I love split series. I love seeing how these teams are going. And look, something that I don't love is that New Happy now aren't actually coming to Melbourne next week. I was keen to see how they would perform on LAN because they have had some quality maps online, but there's been apparently some visa issues. So now we've got a different team coming to Melbourne for that, which is, of course, you know, only a week away. We will be playing those games. But that means, of course, that there's going to be no Asian or Chinese representation at that tournament, which I'm a little bit sad about because the Chinese fans down in Melbourne always usually go pretty hard. And I was hoping that New Happy would be, you know, pleasantly surprising on LAN. A lot of Chinese teams, they seem to pop off on LAN. They have those mechanical skills, and LAN's the best place to show that off.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got, performances from teams historically on Australian soil, like Rare Atom, you know, with their lineup as well as Wings Up, who could forget. But, yeah, unfortunately, no representatives in Melbourne. However, I think there's still plenty of opportunity for the Chinese fans to get behind some Australian teams.
True.
We'll see how that pans out. But, of course, the schedule for tonight is going to be ATOX taking on Born in Far East. And now, Mac, you've heard of Born in the East, but Born in Far East?
Yeah, it's a stone's throw away from the East, I think. You know, as long as you're really strong and you can throw that stone really far. You know what I'm getting at? And then we've got ATOX, of course, on that other side. And ATOX is a name that a lot more people are going to be way more familiar with. They did go to the RMR. They have been around for a while, taken some names, but not being able to, you know, get to the top of the Mongolian scene. But you'd happily put them as that second Mongolian team at the moment. So them going up against Born in the Far East, which is another one of these East Russian teams, which we've seen a lot of so far in the Asian League for this season. I'm keen to be impressed again. A lot of these East Russian players are very sharp, and in terms of the structure of these teams, I'd say for the most part they are better than a lot of the other Asian teams. But ATOX, you never know what we're going to get because that Mongolian aggression comes in spades.
Yeah, absolutely. It does come in spades, but I think, either way, looking at these two teams, of course, ATOX, despite not being at the top of the Mongolian scene, they've got the experience in this lineup who have been to the top of the Mongolian scene. Obviously with Cabal, Dobu, who are long-time staples of the Mongolian scene. But of course, Zesta, Mick, and Annihilation, who was their most recent signing. He's had about a month to integrate into this roster, and I think, Annihilation has always had that X factor to him. Whether or not he can hit his stride and continue to hit his stride will be, I guess, answered over the next few months, depending on how long his tenure is. But Born in Far East, of course, some names there that obviously you and I, and maybe even some people watching, wouldn't have seen a lot of either. As we said, with these East Russian teams, they do bring a lot of structure. They do bring a lot of, I guess, if anything, heavy-hitting strategy. And they usually do play really well together as a unit, something that Asian teams do struggle with. Though I think that's a real strength that I guess the entire Mongolian scene have really picked up and run with. They're really starting to play as a unit, whereas before I thought, Asian CS as a whole was just controlled chaos at best.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen enough of ATOX now to know that I feel like their playstyle is solid, and Annihilation, I don't know what his debut game was, but we saw one of his first games with ATOX on stream here on ESL Challenger League a couple of weeks ago now. And he looked pretty good, but I think that was also his first time playing CS2 after, cracking with the boys for a couple of weeks. So his first official in CS2. And he did sort of hang up the mouse for a little bit and take a break after CSGO disappeared. So it's good to see him coming back. I just hope he can find that consistency.
Yeah, I think it's all about consistency. A lot of players, I feel as though still haven't actually hit anywhere near their level that they had in CSGO in CS2 yet. Particularly, there's some bigger names than Annihilation, certainly missing from the results table thus far. But I mean, in terms of what we're seeing out of ATOX, they've had a fairly, I guess, patchy run in terms of results recently for them. Obviously, they had played a few qualifiers here and there, and more domestically, they've had some decent results. I mean, it's neither been here nor there, but their domestic rivals in Mongol certainly have had the better of them. However, they are, potentially taking maps off them. So again, it's just about these guys finding consistency. And I think Annihilation, I have also, and you and I, we sort of agreed on this. He's the player to watch because, as we said, we haven't seen a lot of him yet, but we know that he has and had an incredibly high skill ceiling, particularly in CSGO.
Yeah, as an AWPer, I feel like they've done a great job picking him up, at least, wagging his chin off, getting him keen to come back and play some CS2. And hopefully it is onwards and upwards for this lineup. But the problem is, I think that Mongols have just had so much experience in the last 3 or 4 months that they have been able to skyrocket away from the region and dominate almost every single other team who was once close with them. They've managed to, follow Blitz to success, Blitz making all the right decisions, all the right leadership choices, just deciding that, boys, look, we need to go have this boot camp. We need to just be better than Europe now. That's the next goal, and they're doing the right thing, and their trajectory is going crazy, which is why I'm so keen to see what they can do at Pro League, which is also only a couple of days away over in Malta. And hopefully ATOX and the rest of the teams that are going to be sitting pretty back here in Asia can take some notes. But in terms of the veto, we're going to be going to Mirage for the first best of one of the day.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise there. It's a pretty good comfort pick for a lot of teams that are sitting in that middle ground. I think particularly teams as well in Asia have always, it's either going to be, that Inferno Showdown still, or potentially a map like Mirage. But I mean, as far as, playing to the strengths of each of these two teams, I actually think it's pretty neutral ground in terms of where we're at, because obviously Born in the Far East, we're not too sure as to what they're going to be able to bring to the table just yet. But I think Mirage is always I guess, a danger map for upsets.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't know if Born and Far East are going to have what it takes. But look, it's really easy to underestimate these teams when they're online. And I feel like in terms of the ping today, it like shouldn't be anything too crazy if we do get some kind of like Mongolian or, you know, up there on the northern side server, because if you got these East Russian players who you can only assume are going to be playing from East Russia, maybe they're in Mongolia, maybe you never know, they could be living in China as well. There's a chance that it's going to be a nice low ping game and we're going to see some solid bloody Counter-Strike. But of course, that is it for the pre-show. We'll have the game coming up just after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentle nerds. Yep, that's all you guys in chat. We got Born in the Far East, and all that weird business. We got Mirage and Born in Fire. I'm going to be starting on that CT side.
Certainly are, but they are going to have a quick start. Because ATOX not messing about, straight on in. Decoys left, right, and center, but Lakio is still holding up pretty well. And that's unfortunate, and as that's going to swing the pendulum back in favor of Annihilation for a 3v1. That's not going to work out. It was a fast start from ATOX, but Born in the Far East had other things to say about it.
Yeah, mate, no good at all.
No bueno.
ATOX, no chance, and no pistol on the T side without a plant means this round's going to suck a little bit. Born in the Far East, though, 3 rifles. Not worrying too much about that util for a couple of these members, and then just those SMGs as well. ATOX, ooh, risky with a couple of Deagle buys here. Not going to have too much util in the next, unless they hit some crispy ones.
Well, we'll see. That's aggression dealt with. It's a fast way to lose an M4, but they're all going to try and peek in the mid on the back of that. Should be cleaned up here.
Yeah, so. Oh, Flynn. Oh, man. Oh, speaking of Flynn.
The coach.
The coach. So that's what we were probably waiting for, was a 5th member. And unfortunately, their 5th member has not shown up, but their coach has. So that's always a solid start. Who's missing? Zesta. Unless Flynn is... Oh, wait, no, Zesta's there. Cabal? Cabal's not there. Big man on campus. Doesn't show up for class.
That's going to be interesting. Isn't he in-game leading? T-side?
I presume so.
Okay. We'll see how they go. I mean, the coach should be able to pick up the reins here. See how this works out. AK's for ATOX. Slow, steady. Got that window smoke down. Waiting out any aggression.
And Born in Far East just going slow. Try not to burn too much of that util too early on.
Big presence in terms of crossfires in mid, though. But I mean, one deep connector smoke, and that can easily cut them off, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So connector control now as they push back through short. But where to from here for ATOX? I like the adjustment, though, from Born in Far East as they actually put aggression towards A main. They needed to not be locked out. They needed to clear their flanks.
Kaito just going to stay at CT. Pretty solid positions for all of the CTs here. Murakumo able to pick off that ladder player. Not too worried about his flank though. And spins around in time. Kaito fighting from sight. Is going to have a helping hand through the smoke. Murakumo is going to be able to snatch that one away. Kaito pushing forward, and it's looking unlikely for Zesta in a 1v5, especially now he's dead. 3-0. And Born in Far East off to a stellar start with everyone alive on the third.
Yeah, a lot of structure there, and I like the adjustment. As soon as the mid connector pressure came in, Born in the Far East, as we said, they took that A main control and just removed the threat. But I think Mirakuma, being this impenetrable fortress in jungle, put a real thorn in the side of ATOX. They couldn't get anywhere. They couldn't get up connector. They couldn't remove him. And he created this crossfire that, okay, an airstrike deals with the mid-connector push. They could fumble the bag here, you know, after a solid gun round.
Well, I like where ATOX are. And Mick, he's just looking to try and put his crosshair in the right position. Looks like he is going to be boosted as the solo man with the rifle into window. And they don't seem to be aware. Born in Far East are not expecting this. They are starting to posture for a perfect B split. The bomb going to make its way unders. Lakio from short still doesn't realize that there could be a player all the way in through market. And it's just a matter of moments. Mick spots one, sees the other, has every bit of input in the world. There's that first pick and the second. Beautiful. And Mick single-handedly has won that.
Yep. Has to deal with the third, and he does. And that is everything locked out here for Born in Far East. Meerkat, well, it's not so simple for him. He'll be lucky to hold on to his AK at this rate.
I'll acknowledge I understood the reference, Jim, but I don't know if anyone from Asia could get that at all. But look, 2 picks, not too bad. Unfortunately, wasn't ready for Zesta, swinging in from CT. And that is going to be ATOX getting their first on the board with a hero AK of all things.
Yeah, it's going to be, as I said, a quick way to fumble the bag, isn't it? After the hard work in the last gun round, they came through. They looked pretty solid, but ATOX have struck right back.
Yeah.
So City Economy, there's no let off for them. They have to reinvest so heavily back into things. And, well, I mean, a round loss here. Again, just acknowledging that there is aggression coming through that mid-connector. Yeah, loss here is going to put them on their back foot, certainly. But a far more passive approach now to the CT side from Born in Far East. Oh, that is a shot and a half.
Zesta. Cracker shot coming through. And another. This B site seems to be a little weaker than the other side. And won't be able to hold the line there. Murakumo, online gameplay, has that peeker's advantage and will control of the B site as everything's going on. Meerkat going to be able to catch Dobu and Annihilation. A refrag over towards that B side of the map, and Meerkat won't be able to get anything else done. That will be 2 on the board for ATOX. A bit of a cluster of a round, but ATOX still thanking Zesta for those entries.
Yeah, Zesta just locking things well and truly out on that B bomb site. That opener was an absolute cracker. Just to start things off, but Born in Far East. Now they're the ones on pistols. So they've got, I mean, Kaito, I'm looking to him for this Zeus. Let's see how he can maximize return on that. already he's taken a bit of damage in the mid window. Just trying to get into position.
That nade
Oh.
does a chunk of damage onto Kaido, but with 9 points to health, there's a chance of him still getting that Zeus kill here. Oh, there is tease coming his direction. B-site taken in the meanwhile by the rest of ATOX and Mick. Oh, lovely flash to allow him to grab that one.
Yeah, saved by the bell, that's for sure. Meerkat, way too far from the action to have any impact, but he might be able to snag a weapon. Feels as though ATOX, after those slow opening rounds, have found a bit of a groove, haven't they?
Yeah. Just took guns. Well, one gun. One gun from Mick. Yeah.
It's not even an upgrade.
There's his timing onto Annihilation here. Making some noise. Flash in. Has blinded Mick. And he decides, against his will. Oh, yeah. Okay. Missed upgrade, though. So, we'll fight for his armor. Like, he didn't even have armor. Just the deagle.
No. Just the deagle.
Unfortunate that he didn't get his mitts on the AK.
Yeah, we'll see they can do here on this gun round, though. A little bit light in some of the utility, though. Let's see how that plays out for Mirakumo and Kaido. It's going to limit some options, but Kaido, he only had a flash in his back pocket, and that's all he needed to get up.
Quite a nasty timing. And Mick as well, just trying to be sneaky, smoking the molly at top mid. But in the meanwhile, we got action here on Mirakumo. Not going to be able to stand up to the big man Dobu, who's looking for more. And it seems to be Flynn to take it. Wind in a 1v2 now to try to bring this one back. And Annihilation gets a second on the board. Might be looking for more. And he's got a chance here with Flynn falling. He has every bit of info he needs. But I'm not 100% satisfied with his position. Wind.
Yeah.
It's a hard clear. He didn't. He's pulled out util at the worst possible moment. Just went for the half clear. Didn't believe it. And Annihilation hits a cracker.
Yeah. That's, unfortunately, for Win, the worst possible timing on that. Yeah, just not quite dotting his I's, crossing his T's, and not checking the sandwich before he took a bite. Can be costly. Meerkat with the shotgun. Looking for some close range action, I would assume.
We'll see how that goes for him. There is one victim in A main. Oh. There it is. Beautiful timing from Mirakumo as well, who's managed to get in here. I think he hears this bomb coming, and he gets the package, he gets the AK, he gets every bit of info that he needs, except Dobu's position, who now knows one's ran towards A main. He's got himself a potential flank coming back through the crawl spat. Nah, no way. Ain't no way Kaido's hit both those.
That's the linchpin.
All right, that was an Asian CS round.
Yeah, that was absolute pandemonium. Yep. Just flank on flank on flank. It was layered. It was like an onion, Mac. Except this time. No, there's nowhere to go with that one, to be honest. They get some free upgrades, Mac, and it's exactly what the CT economy wanted at this point in time. They're bolstered. And I guess from having their backs up against the wall, they've got a little bit more breathing space now as a result.
Yeah.
Fight fire with fire, though. Look at this push coming up from Kaido. It's worked for him before.
Gets one. Not the worst thing that could have happened to him there. And timing of the flash was great there for ATOX. Mick and Flynn trying to fully take that mid control, which they certainly do. Tearing straight through Born in Far East. And that molly is burning Wind to death. Oh, he just couldn't get out of the flames in time. Committed to the fight, and that was his downfall. ATOX securing 5.
Yeah, the only thing missing there was some earth, Mac. Because we had the wind and the fire. We'll see, though. The city economy, as we said, the free upgrades give them a little lifeline there. I liked Kaido's approach, though. I just think he bit off a little bit more than he could chew. What I am liking, though, is from ATOX. They are just not there to be traded. Okay,
Well,
that one goes missing.
They're here on the B site. Going real damn quick this round, and that's going to be Mick again. Solid on the entries. Mirajumo to trickle smoke, so he can make his way out E-box, but that's not gone well. And Mick just seems to be tearing straight through the East Russians at the moment, even breaking that smoke, making sure that there's no one hiding, no one lurking, and that the site is safe to plant on.
Yeah, completely locked out here. They're sticking around here, unfortunately, born in Far East, and that's going to be to their detriment. Mick pops in through the smoke. Wind, how many bites of the cherries are you going to have this round?
One. Just one.
Only one.
But you can eat a whole cherry in one bite. If you can't, you've got an issue.
Well, there is the pip.
So you don't swallow.
Well, you don't eat the pip.
Can if you want.
Let me guess, more fiber?
I don't know, something. Yeah. Fills you up. Probably gives you some kind of micronutrients if you really want to delve into the science of it. And we're going to see ATOX smacking it at B again this time. There's a Deagle here. There's another Deagle, and neither of them did anything. The MAC-10 flying out with Flynn was perfect to tear through the unarmored CTs. And, oh, Flynn. Man's on for the ace. Give it to him. Meerkat. What you got for us, King, with the Nova?
Coach for the ace. How about that? I like the reads from ATOX, actually, even on the last round, recognizing that, like, with the repurchases coming through in the round, there's likely going to be some omissions in terms of utility. So they just go straight towards that fast B. And the layering of the flashes was perfect. And as we saw in this round as well, obviously knowing that their opposition were going to be Eco, just a fast approach to B. The MAC-10's doing all the damage. In like Flynn towards that B site. And, well, Meerkat is going to survive this round, but a shotgun's not going to be too much use to him in the next, because I would say that the repurchases will be coming through.
Armor can definitely save a pretty penny, but at the same time, you're going into the last round of the half and you've got 700 left over. Mate, you haven't been touched. Get that helmet. Get that helmet, boy. Could get a kit. Get something.
Kit or helmet, it's a choice.
Get anything. Meerkat,
Kit
buy
or
something. Helmet. Meerkat, don't do this to me. Meerkat, you have... Oh, you have angered me. Come on. Could have bought a second flash and dropped it for the homies, you know? Like, as well as a kit. There's so many different things you could have done, Meerkat. And instead, he chose violence.
He chose no action. Making no choice is a choice. However, they have chosen to go B here to their own detriment so far. Annihilation finds a retaliation through the AWP. But the double AWP into B is never going to be super successful. And that is going to be ATOX taking the half 7-5. We'll see if there's a resurgence from Born in the Far East after the break.
if we really want to abbreviate it, we can call them beef.
Bife?
But I'd prefer beef. You know, because it tastes good, honestly. Like, but I guess that's up to opinion. ATOX looking to start the half in a very quick fashion. Annihilation taking names. Dobu chiming in. And the round, blink and you'll miss it, might be done in seconds.
Yeah, that's just complete capitulation at the hands of Annihilation in mid. And even Flynn's chiming in for one. Meerkat, again, familiar face at the end of the round. There's not much left to compare for him either.
Bada bing, bada boom. A flawless one. Only Annihilation and Zest are tagged up, so it should be free helmets for the rest of the boys, which means it should be a cheeky little upgrade to a lot of these M4s, which is exactly what you're going to see here. And we've even got a quick tactical coming through from Born in Far East as we move into the second round of the half. There was no plant. It's probably just Glocks, and this is one of those situations where ATOX need to realize that, need to buy helmets, and they're smart gamers. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yep. Flynn's purchase will come through momentarily, no doubt. But they're not messing about. Might be hindered by a lack of utility, depending on which direction Born in Far East go. But I see no movement on the monetary side of things. There's no purchases coming in, so we'll see what they run.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably not going to need utility here. ATOX, I would say, but look, man, it's Asian CS. This could be anything.
That's true. You never know what you're going to get. Like a box of chockies. That's chocolate for anyone that doesn't understand shortened, butchered words that Australians do. It's actually my specialty.
Butchering words.
Mm-hmm.
Annihilations is butchering anti-ecos. Butchering is the eco cobra.
Oos, 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 oos. Don't sell us snake oil, mate. Not like this. Lacchio wants none of it. Oh, but he's ran into the mag from it instead. It's the worst of two evils. Very unfortunate for him, but ATOX going to be happy as Larry with 9 rounds on the board and even that swag 7 kill as they move into what I guess we're going to call a bonus because no one had to really reinvest except utility. They're going to be happy.
Even the Mag 7's been carried over to this round. So Flynn really is going to be the bank of ATOX, I would say. Even on the last half, we saw him taking sort of those money man entry roles as well. So more of the same.
Kaido
extending.
Tucking, waiting. ATOX loving this aggression, trying to be the move makers. And the moves they've made have not worked well for the start of the round. Dobu, late trade, and the spacing not great from Born in the Far East. So they are going to be very isolated at the top of mid. The trades will come through eventually. Flynn with aggression, Solo and BAPS with a man advantage has gone south. And it looks like the A site, I was going to say is wide open. It certainly is now with Mick falling. And Annihilation, a 1v3 angle. There is money in the bank, but it's the CT side, and you've already got a pretty big lead. So maybe an upgrade to one of those AKs, those juicy, juicy AKs at the top of mid is the thought process here. That's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, there's not really too much else on offer, right? Like, total lack of information. He might stick around to try and take a scalp, but his chances of taking the round are pretty slim.
No
Maybe
kit there either.
Oh, did he make a step? An audible?
I think so. Bro, I'm really angry. I was holding shift the other day, and I didn't, like, bump any other buttons. I didn't take my finger off a shift. But when I jumped onto one of the wooden boxes on an Ancient near Shelf, even though I did not take my finger off of shift, I made, like, a landing wood sound when I landed on the stuff. And I'm like,
Subticked You've been sub-ticked.
That was, yeah, I got real angry. And it completely changed how I played the end of the round, and then I lost the round, and I was... Oh!
You got ticked
got
off.
CS2. Yeah, I got real ticked off. Got sub-ticked off.
There's no worse place to be than sub-ticked off. It's a round win to Bourne in Far East, and it's going to replenish their stocks. But as you said with ATOX, there was plenty of money in the bank. Flynn is just playing that banker role, per se. Some conditioning at play as well. Bourne in Far East kind of forced into taking later mid-control if they want it, but for the moment just watching and waiting for this push. ATOX have got some pretty heavy presence towards mid as well. Flynn this time not so aggressive.
Ooh. Dobu says boo. Pokes his little head up, and that's going to be a nicer start to the round for Murakumo. Great entries at mid. Disappears with those smokes. Still up as well, and in the meanwhile, Flynn trying to take some space on the other side of the map. But him falling means, again, that man advantage is lost, and Bourne in Far East are in with a shot here.
Yeah, Win could have faked them out a little bit. That's a shot for annihilation. It should have been hit. I thought maybe they could play that fake off with that flash. It would have kept annihilation in check, but they've opted to go straight for this B site. Calling the audible now. That Molotov's going to push him even further into the open, and Mick is there with waiting arms to cover that wrap around the pole. That was a round on a knife's edge.
In other greater APAC news, it's looking like FlyQuest are about to beat Rooster, but Rooster, who haven't been playing much CS lately, or too many solid games, convincing games is the better term, have managed to take them to OT on map 1 and also managed to get 9 rounds on them on Inferno, which is pretty solid considering how FlyQuest have been playing in the last month or so.
Yeah.
That being said, this game,
Oh man,
I thought it was firing up, but it looks like ATOX has suppressed them for a moment. Annihilation with the orb, going to be able to crack some skulls. Ooh, speaking of, okay, Bourne in Far East still in it to win it. Zesta going solo, going to be able to find his. And now Flynn needs to find his, but can he?
Well, it's Flynn into the wind. That bomb's still yet to be collected. Wynn's just trying to make sure that he doesn't get caught by any of these angles. Got lots of time to play with as well. And I think Flynn, he's got the power of position. He's still going to push though.
He might have seen the shadow there as well.
Yeah.
There is a chance. He gets it. That was less climactic than I thought. It was very much anticlimactic, but look, we'll own it.
Yeah.
Great clutch, Flynn. Solid. He got his in the end.
I mean, Flynn was in the best position you could be in a 1v1, in that sort of situation for a C team. And that's, well, I mean, this round's just going to be something similar to the last. I got the hero AKs coming out. No real utility to work with though, so there's not going to be too much to layer in here. They're just going to have to bust on in and hope that the AKs are going to pave enough of a path for the rest of Bourne the Far East, or Beef as you wanted to call them.
BIFE.
BIFE.
What an acronym. Living that BIFE life, and unfortunately Kaito will not, because he's dead. Great flasher to A main. ATOX calculated aggression towards the mid-round, has found them a lot more control at A, and even sent that bomb scurrying away back to mid, where at least there is going to be some BIFE control. Flynn's got a big job on his hands.
It certainly does.
Ooh, I really wish he stayed deep in apps, but he's managed to get that pick onto Murakumo, who was solo on short. And now there's a chance for ATOX to posture here, but they are very aware of Lakio's potential position in jungle, and even on a single digit of health, he'll find some impact. drawing attention back towards him as that bomb is slowly and silently making its way through apartments. Flynn, he wants to try to find the angle here, but the timing...
No. What is this?
Oh!
The distraction, it works. And now Flynn's got to run around like a madman. Just got to try and kite that player in apps.
Thought Annihilation was going for that transfer then. Gave it a crack, and we'll try to take this one-on-one. The Deagle, 3 taps it took. And with 3 left in the clip, Win still on for a chance, even if he hits shots like that. Big 1D to close it out. And 7 keeps Bife in the game.
One final gust for Wind. And they're still somehow in this. They get it done. I thought they were going to be put on a rotisserie in that round, but not to be the case. And still they keep on kicking. The city economy, it's got to take a little breather. They'll be able to run with the same aggression they normally do, and this is going to be a big info play coming out for Mick. Might be able to catch that player in apartments. Okay. It's happened exactly that way. Dobu's just kicked things off in mid. Mick's caught one out in apartments, and suddenly it's total collapse for Born in the Far East. They're still... Well, they've got no territory to work with, do they? They're all kind of filtered into mid now, and they're all just going to be picked to pieces, Mac. Picked to pieces.
Yeah. Seems to be one of those situations. Wind, though, clutched the last 1v2. Has another shot here, but he's giving the City time to get closer and closer, and Zesta will get the angle eventually, put its wealth on the board, and ATOX are 1 away from taking the first map this evening. Can they get it done? Can they put it in the back pocket and at least get another point on the board for season 47 of Asia Pacific here at ESL Challenger League? That's the big question. And it should be quite easy. Keyword there is should, because Bife still have at least 1 AK in the mix, a couple of SMGs and those Galils to find some kind of damage. Top mid smoke going to be thrown, but they aren't committing just yet. Nobu, Nate could polish off Murakumo. It certainly will. Split into mid with the bottom pressure is going to be good enough until they both just eat up that HE. And Kaido not going to be able to keep himself in it. 13-7, the final scoreline as ATOX fend Bife off of Mirage.
Yeah, that was a fairly fast and furious round too. The aggression coming out. You could see Born in the Far East, affectionately now known as Bife, were looking to try and make a trade. But the utility was just so on point. The repeats coming out from ATOX, they looked fairly well oiled. And I think it was a series that they warmed their way into. Remember, they lost the first 3. And it honestly was not a lot to write home for Born in the Far East after that point. Yeah. There was a spattering of rounds here and there. You know, they did manage to break back on one of the rounds, but I mean, that's sort of it, really. ATOX were in charge for pretty much the majority of that matchup, so we'll see whether or not there's enough, you know, in the tank here for them to put in a challenge on the next map. But honestly, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of ATOX.
Yeah, next map's going to be interesting one, but of course, to get to the next game, we got to go to a break. Ladies and gents, we won't keep you too much longer. See you after this for game number 2. Welcome back again to ESL Challenger League Season 47 for the Asian Pacific region. We are one best of one deep in the broadcast between Bife and ATOX, that is born in Far East, for anyone that isn't down with the lingo, down with the sickness like us. I'm Mac, this is Jim, and we're taking you through all the fun. We still got one more best of one to get into, and Annihilation. He was our player to watch today, and he's doing all right. He's doing all right, considering it's his time to shine in CS2. He was gone for a while, but he's definitely impressed in this.
Yeah, he's been back for about a month now, like just a little bit over a month. At least in terms of this roster as well. I don't know how much he'd been playing on the side, but I think even just from what we saw in that last match on Mirage, he started to pick up the AWPs, had a little bit of success with it, but was pretty quiet in the first half, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a different affair this time around, though, because it looks as though things have swapped up a little bit for this veto, and I haven't seen a whole lot of it recently. I feel as though it's a little bit out of favour with some of the top teams, but Ancient is back in the mix for this matchup now. And look, to be honest, I don't think it changes anything in terms of our prediction, but like, I love seeing Ancient.
Yeah, I feel like personally, ATOX should be taking it from what we've seen so far. But look, Born in Far East didn't look bad by any sense of the word. So Ancient, it's definitely, in my opinion, the most balanced map in the pool, which is why during the Swiss stage of the major, you saw it a lot in those best of ones, and best of ones, it just seems to be a place where you want to see it. And this is a best of one, so that's why we're probably seeing it. Both these teams definitely playing it at some point. The thing for me is, I remember ATOX getting slaughtered on this a few times at the RMR. So hopefully they've picked up the pieces since then, because if they take Born in Far East for granted, there is a chance that Born in Far East can take them and take the win.
We'll see how they go. They've got to get their T side off to a good start.
Mick again. Cracker shots coming through. And Born in Far East just chilling at B main, waiting for anyone to push a little too far down the ramp. Dobu spotting them, calling back some of the reinforcements. As you could see, ATOX thinking about going and stacking that A site early, but Mick's gone a little too wide. We'll still take one with him to the grave, and the numbers favouring ATOX, but we'll see if they can survive. A whole minute to play with for Bife.
Yeah, it's looking to try and pick off CTs in aggressive spots for Born in Far East. It hasn't quite worked out for them thus far, so the regroup is on. And I think it's safe to say they're going to head back towards this B site, but if Wind can find something, which is now no longer possible, it would have helped them a lot.
Okay, Zestar, beautiful timing there, swinging out, taking some bloody names. And that'll be that. 1-0, and ATOX, a relatively clean pistol to kick off the CT side.
Yeah, not a bad way to kick things off. Didn't really feel as though Born in Far East found anything in that round. They largely were just picked apart. And even then, I don't know, just lacking that little bit of structure. We'll see how they go. They've got that solid smoke to kick things off, but bang, there's that instant smoke down in through mid. The Molotov to layer it and follow through. The boost over the top is cancelled at the last second. They couldn't quite get that off, but it's given aggressive position to ATOX. I mean, now with no utility whatsoever, these P250s are probably their best chance of punching through. As long as ATOX don't get over-aggressive and overconfident, I should be able to just keep this stranglehold in place.
Ooh. That's what you're looking for. Nice and clean with the rifles. Oh, and the crossfire has gone spectacularly. Look at that Annihilation, even going to the secondary, making sure that they keep on fighting together. And ATOX lock it in for a second. Born in Far East. No bomb plant in the first. A couple of people going down to the Deegs in the second. And you're going to see the result of that. Wind, no utility. Meerkat will have light utility. Kaito, just the smoke. And this is not a very good looking buy going into the third round of the game.
No, certainly not filling me with confidence. So, just layering. Kaito kind of got caught in the open there, but Lynn is just this explorer who has left this A-bomb site now unattended.
Ooh. And the scrimming in. Zesta, real hungry to swing there. I believe Mick was flashing for him over the top of Donut, but regardless, flashes didn't connect. He's making a solo heroic play, drawing attention. But the bomb will be planted in the meanwhile, and Dobu has snuck his way to CT, but that smoke's only just recently bloomed, so he's got good 10 seconds or so to wait for that to fade. And then, if they can fish for a pick, maybe there's a chance here. Mick's starting to make his way forward. Coordination of the retake is spectacular, and the 2v3 has gone awry in a matter of a couple of seconds.
Yeah, look, I would have thought there would have been a swing on to the player in Donut, but like they were already locked in. So Dobu's done a fantastic job of enabling Mick to have the space that he needed. Born in Far East were punished in that instance. You know, a 3v2 in that you should just be trading out. But they get it done. So ATOX blazing into this map so far. These first 3 rounds have certainly flown by. Really having trouble even getting into mid without being traded.
To edge in all of Counter-Strike 2.
Where's that?
Oh, where Kaito was. It was cheeky. And that's going to be lane control taken. Cheeky peek into B main before the smoke bloomed, resulted in a 3-man advantage for ATOX. Full lane control, full mid control, full everything control. And those smokes still able to be refreshed towards elbow. Will keep Born in Far East away from mid.
They're now locked out, Mac. There's nothing in this round for them. Like, they're just being rolled over.
The only thing they don't have is full A main control, but they don't need it.
No. They're pretty much set. And the thing is too, like Born in Far East, they're not going for a regroup or anything like that. So there's going to be no trades here. Like all the attention is focused. There we go. Taking quite a lot of damage and finding that. And okay.
Ooh. Rough spot for Mick to be in, but he does pivot and find both those picks. Lovely trades out of him. He's definitely my MVP for this series. He's made some crazy plays, and in terms of his entry power in Mirage, man, he's a good name. He's a good name to have in your lineup right now. I definitely have said his name multiple times when I've been watching these ATOX games and casting these ATOX games. So yeah, keep his name in your mouth. Or in your mind.
On your mind.
Or in your mouth. Okay. Lynn, in a crossfire. How have you found yourself there? He didn't go for the full commit to what he wanted to do at A main, and it might have cost him his life. Ooh, not the round though. Zesta sneaks his way onto default. Gets in behind enemy lines. Or in behind his own line. And he's had enough of this one. Just running, hunting, eating up that pick. And then on the other side of things, 3 Ts looking to take B. And Dobu just needs to try to lock down long while the rest of the troops rotate in.
Yeah, he might even find a bit of space here. Not going to do anything with it though. He's going to wait for everybody to regroup on this site. That smoke's going to provide a little bit of vision here. Dobu is going to screen that player off the site. The swing is finally there from Murakuma. The Mac 10 from Meerkat is effective, but let's just see whether or not Annihilation can play this one out. Oh, peek straight into that. And that is going to be easy as you like for Annihilation. They were made to work for it though, ATOX. This is also too, if you're only just joining us, this is without Cabal as well. for ATOX.
Yeah.
Playing with Flynn, the coach.
Not bad. Maybe Cabal said, you know what? I'm going to let you guys do it. I'm going to let you guys finish because I want the night off. It is, of course, is it Friday night in Mongolia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday, the day we cook. They're getting punched up by this util. ATOX. Oh man, that's the second grenade that's gone down in that alleyway, and it's just look how squishy now. Born in Far East are.
Still a chance for him to strike, especially with lovely util like that across the top. Zesta didn't see it coming. Born in Far East, just going to go with a strength in numbers approach until Murakumo gets thinned out towards lane side. Lakyo on 26 points of health doesn't necessarily want to re-peek into Cheetah there. Instead, we'll just deep that smokes. Ooh, favors Lakyo there somehow. Annihilation,
Yeah.
I guess he was closer to the corner. And Born in Far East, aware of that gap on the right side. But now, Flynn. He struggled in this position before. Nade. Forces him out to the right side. Trade starting to come through. Dobu so damn low. Gets another there. He shouldn't be allowed to get that, but he does. And he's 7-2. The score, though, 6-0.
Just crouching out of it, right? Like, what better way? Just duck under the crosshair of your opposition. But no,
Sure.
Flynn,
Sure.
he knew what he was doing. But
Had to make your shadow smaller, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. You get closer to the ground, lower center of gravity.
Top shelf smoke coming through. Looking like Born in Far East want that full lane control. Wind screaming it through that one. Pre-smoke as well from someone to extinguish. And the deep molly tells us that they do want to try to fight for that cave control, but Wind a little scared to go all the way into Cheetah. Zesta still just waiting for some aggression from the top of lane. But that smoke fades. Maybe now's the point in time where Born in Far East make their move.
They're posturing for it. They've only got smokes to lead into this site, so no flashes to get anybody off the line. Dobu, how did they start that? Oh.
Yes, for the secondary. Looking damn good. Annihilation. Tight little headshot line. Big swing, big ding. Peeker's advantage. Looking good for him, but they both put the reload. Oh, awkward win.
No, Flynn.
Just unfortunate scenes here, yet again, in Asian Counter-Strike. Welcome, if you're new here. It is like EU daytime. If you guys are enjoying yourselves, please remember, all Counter-Strike is good Counter-Strike, but not necessarily all Counter-Strike is skillful Counter-Strike.
Well, let's just say there's a difference between good and great.
Yeah, let's go with that one. Let's see if Zesta can take mid in a great manner. Early spawn smoke, and his molly has actually missed the mark. Goes straight in the smoke, which does allow Wind to lurk his way out. And off the back of that, he gets that pick, he gets that mid control. CT's now in a little bit of a rough position, but Mick going to keep on fighting here at Cheetah. Waiting for more. He hears those footsteps, thinking what players are going to be swinging into him there. That'll be slowed down by a molly towards the ramp side of Born in Far East. Hasn't hit the mark. And Bife just trying to figure out where the hell they want to go. ATOX, no. Look at Flynn.
Yeah. They're being locked into this site. Now, Dobu, just not aware of how close, how much that threat was looming on the site. Annihilation holds up, but he needs to make sure he doesn't get overwhelmed. There's still Mick in the site.
He has ran through that smoke. He has stopped the plant. He has bought more time for the flank to come through and activate. And on 2 HP just keeps on swimming. Swimming? Swinging. That one. Lacchio down on the ground, and 8-0. ATOX, flawless, kind of, so far in the first half.
I mean, Mick should have been dead to rights. Surely, someone, like 2 HP. Like, there should have been a trade in there at some point. How does he get away? He steals the round away through the smoke, Mac.
I think the thing is, no one was covering the plant. You know, everyone was looking different ways. Everyone was worried about that short player pushing up Annihilation. But, look, ifs and buts and thought processes, protocols, plenty of questions that we can ask Born in Far East in the interview after the game that we're not going to have. They are just going to go dry, contact, off the timing, into A, and it's worked. Flynn down, and we're down to a 4v4. Smoke finally getting used. None towards Donut, though. So Zesta able to cut him off, but the pass there, he'll fall. But Annihilation grabs one in the meanwhile. Dobu just pushing in, and they're going to flood before there's any chance for Lacchio to even think about getting the plant, the flank. We'll get the late trade, and Mick again saving the day.
Yeah. Just in the nick of time, hey? Tell you what, though, Mac, this is starting to look a little bit grim for Born in Far East. I'm surprised they haven't identified the weak point yet. I mean, if I was Born in Far East, I'd be trying to find out where Flynn plays and just see whether or not they were covering him adequately. Some rounds they are, some rounds they aren't. Like, they're, you know, ATOX are leaving him to play around A main, like, pretty much all the time. So if you can exploit that, even better. I mean, this time he's come equipped with an AWP. But Born in Far East, they need a round here. Like, they're trying to force in whatever they can. It's a bit of a mixed bag in terms of the buyer party mix. But again, Mick is just allowed to run riot there through alleyway.
Ooh, Zesta keeps on fighting, and again, Born in Far East not going to be allowed to make any decisions as they just get collapsed upon, trying to go a little faster. ATOX says, you know what, we can do it even better. We'll run into you. Huh? How's that sound? 10 on the board. 0 for Born in Far East. And this is not looking very good for Born in Far East at all. Forget everything I said about ATOX, maybe not looking too crash hot on Ancient. It was probably just the teams they were playing against at the RMR.
Yeah. It doesn't feel as though Born in Far East are equipped on this T side. They are being bullied quite well. Even now, they're getting out into B main. They're just being punched in the gut. Oh, there we go. Finally, they're going to be left alone here.
Is that what it's going to take for Born in Far East to potentially find a round? Little kills found through the smoke. Lacchio, that is a deep one, mate.
Like,
that is a...
That's the CT spawn smoke.
That is a... Ooh. Come on.
That's gone beyond the red room.
That's a high-pressure smoke coming through. Even that flash towards the back of sight, that ain't doing nothing for the T's. Flynn mates pulled out util at the worst possible moment. Annihilation. The shift walk peak ain't it. Just ain't it. Missed opportunity for Dobu to equalize his position, now known. Ooh, and with 40 seconds, Bife are going to go for it. They're still looking towards CT. Dobu sneaks his way out, gets the first, and spots the second, but won't get the shot off. Lacchio, hero of the round with the 4K.
They finally break the drought. The round drought, just in the nick of time too. There's one round left in the half. Is it going to be enough? Felt like everybody had an AWP in that round. That was getting all the bulk of the damage done.
Yeah.
Still a little bit disjointed, though, with their buy, Born in Far East. ATOX, spoiled by choice. This is just going to be more of the same, though.
Ooh, Mick's gone through the molly this time, and he's got help towards Shelp side. Surely the double down ain't going to happen. Okay, wins, takes out his teammate, gets the trade for ATOX. They say thank you, but it's still a two-man advantage for Born in Far East. Annihilation, not cleared on the back of sight. He'll get a free pick onto Lakio with no one even close to trade. Let's see if Bife drop the ball here.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Born in Far East here, I'm heading back towards A, right? Like, they know that they've probably got, if he's still on the site, they're only going to deal with Flynn.
He's pulled his knife out.
Oh, dear.
He's a coach.
Flinny boy. He's a coach. Do as I say, not as I do.
Oh, I like this from Born in Far East. Meerkat looking to go for the full wrap. Through CT, decides against it now that there's some noise being made by Annihilation, and the T's just looking to try and play this together. A crisp shot from Murakumo ends the half at 2 on the board for Born in Far East. We'll see you in the second to see what happens then. We love second half gameplay. That's if we get it. ATOX, they could win this in 3. And the pistol means that it's potentially all going to come crumbling down real quick. Born in Far East. If they get this pistol, then maybe they can make me a believer. But they got a long way to go here, Jim.
Yeah, they really got to pull up their socks here in the second half and almost have a flawless half. We'll see how they go. Win straight away for Julius. He's going to be, well, largely ignored as they head on straight into A.
Bomb planted real damn quick. Murakumo, 2 guns. Not going to be good enough. And it is looking unlikely that Born in Far East win this unless Lakio makes it happen here with Meerkat swinging. Hika's advantage has been taken full advantage of by ATOX there. And that is going to be 11-2. That is how you win a pistol, ladies and gentlemen.
That is... Yeah, that's pistol with skates on. They didn't really stop, did they? Straight on into it. Not messing about whatsoever. And it just felt as though Born in Far East have been run over on this map. The pistol was a good case in point for the entire map so far. They've been bullied around on their T side. Now on the CT side, they're going to be left without too much money. They're going to see whether or not the shotgun, though, will be a great success as they up the pace a little bit. The Deagles are looking good.
Ooh, Mickey boy. Plenty of bullets in that bad boy. Like long side. Might have to go for the reload. Opts to go for the Glock instead, and then thinks maybe I might be appropriate and plant. Let Flynn farm up the stats as well. He needs those kills too, and that, of course, is going to be 12 and 2, and almost a very fast second best of one of the night. Let's see if they can close it 13 to 2. Send Born in Far East back to the Far East, and regret ever setting foot in the server.
Oh, you were going to go way further than that.
What's further than the Far East? What's east of Far East Russia?
I thought you were going to say they regret being born. Because obviously it's a play on the name.
No.
It's not that kind of humiliation, though. Let's just say. At least they have Mirage. This is the pace, though. P90 meets P90 in one final, or potentially final duel as they charge on in. Going to keep on going, though.
Going and going. But are they gone? Or are they straight back in? Dobu not going to be able to catch a time in a smoke. Thought that there wasn't going to be enough bullets left in Kaito's M4 to make that one happen. But now they're all out on the back of sight. And it's all up to Flynn and Zesta to make it happen. Flynn, he's a coach. He's a manager. But is he him? That's what I want to know. Right now, no one's tapped it yet. Finally, spotted in the corner. He'll get past two. And that defuse, it's being wrung out. He can't find him. Just barely misses. Shots in the back of the head. And Born in Far East have found themselves 3.
Yeah, it was nearly a case of he is him. Flynn is him.
And to answer our question before, Jim, Alaska is east of Russia.
There you go.
There you go.
Was that our question before?
Yeah, I was like, what's further than the far east of Russia? And the furthest east point is looks like it's called Norkin. And then there's a little island called Diomede in the middle. And then you got Wales in Alaska. There you go. Geography, huh?
Geography.
Oof.
Oh, geez, they're going to have their memories geogged, that's for sure. They're not messing about this time, ATOX, so they've taken middle, they've taken laneway control. But the CT rotations are still quite deep at this point. Smoke's going to do a good job of masking some information. Hasn't pulled the full rotation yet, though. He's still over at 8, he's convinced.
Nice little smoke bang there. And Zesta, unfortunately, his teammate won't make it to site. There's too many bullets coming through those smokes. And Zesta hoping he can catch a timing. Gets the first. Half HP. In with a shot. 40 on the clock. Oh! Has to go for the reload and won't get past Murakumo. Murakumo? That's the one. 12 and 4.
Murakumo.
And Born in Far East are looking to make a late map resurgence. But can they? They just need to keep it together, man. I don't want to sell the tail too hard, but wouldn't it be nice?
If they're leaving it late, it's going to be very late. Put it that way. They're not giving themselves any wiggle room. We'll see how things play out for them, though, as ATOX have to take a little back seat. I mean, Mick's just convinced that he's going to make this round work.
Yeah.
He's all in with this Galil. It's kind of, Annihilation and Zesta aren't quite convinced.
Well, this exact round, where we questioned it when he went for that AK on Mirage, did work. And it really kind of won Mirage. It cooked Born in Far East economy, and we might be seeing that again. Dobu down, and so is that Galil now. Kaido at range is just going for that USP, knowing that there's probably not helmets on these sneaky tees. And Flynn, is he climbed out? He just was sitting real far back. I think he was throwing util and just having a bit of a chin wag instead of getting this one going. Flynn has space to plant. Go, son. Go, son. No, he's going to get there. He's missed that timing.
Nah, he's going to get undone here. Mirakumo surely going to be over that. Yep, spotted out. And you've also got Lakio's in there with that empty knife. Even gets the bonus cash to splash. All right, CT Money's starting to look a little bit better. And Annihilation, he ecoed in the last round along with Zesta, but everybody else is kind of pretty iffy in terms of cash. They're still going to try and make it work, though. I don't know, man. This could really start to bleed out a little bit for ATOX. Not that I think that they're in danger of losing the series. I just think as though they're prolonging the result.
Lane smoke coming down. And ATOX all in towards B here. Looking like Freddy's going to go for the one-pronged approach straight up ramp side. Mirakumo going to be able to snatch one off in the meanwhile. And a second, maybe the third. Is it all him? Yep. Ace on the cards. Lakio snatches that away with the two-man lineup. And that's going to be 6 quick ones. Just like that, Born in Far East back in the game.
Yeah, just like that. Nice clean round for them too. It's exactly what the doctor ordered. And we've got this weird money situation going on for ATOX. They're gonna, yeah, all right, buying down to sort of around that 15 to 1700, hoping the money, the loss bonus is going to top them up nicely into the next.
Ooh. Low. Lakio. Ready for the wide swing from Flynn. Dobu. Ooh, pushes out on the nice timing there. And they're going to be able to get that mid control. 3 alive for the CTs now. Born in Far East are not playing this one together at all. 3 individuals split very far across the map. Meerkat manages to snag Zestra away on that lurk through mid. And now where the CTs are is looking pretty good for them. Lane control stops that plant from going down, which makes this round even that much harder. Dobu, he's got a big green gun in his hands. But can he utilize it for more? Oh, got destroyed by that nade.
Yeah, he ate that. So, when you get up in the morning, Mac, what do you have for breakfast? A grenade.
Usually black coffee.
Black coffee. Well,
and then if I'm feeling frisky, I'll have my bloody protein shake with bananas and stuff in it.
Oh yeah, you definitely frisky with that level of potassium.
Not hay cheese. I don't eat hay cheese for brekkie, but
no. Well, Dobu does.
That ain't me.
Dobu eats. Well, he could have eaten Born in Far East for breakfast. They now have life in this match. We'll see how things go, though. ATOX got themselves finally the full complement. Like I said, really started to bleed out for them. It was like 12 to 2. Just like that. 5 rounds have passed. Dobu finds the opener, though, so it gives him a little bit of space.
Ooh.
And another.
Yeah.
He's opening up the middle of the map himself.
Seeker's advantage is a whole can of worms, isn't it? And the wind falls. That should be the game.
Dobu's had enough. He's like, it ends now.
He said Cabal just rang. He said down the road is pumping. And I don't want to be late. That's it.
He does the whole thing himself.
Done it himself. He gets 20 on the board after those 5, and it's 13 to 6 in the end. ATOX going to be able to get it done for both of those maps and edge up the leaderboard, getting that double dub tonight. You got to love that.
Yeah, back-to-back wins, and I think, you know, as far as like the group standings are concerned, with where they stand, they need as many wins as they can. They obviously want to secure as high position up on the ladder. We know that the Mongols themselves have got a few games in hand, and they're sort of sitting second. But like that third spot, that second spot evens up for grabs if they keep performing this well. And to be honest with you, we didn't really know too much about Born in Far East, and that should be enough to say that a team like ATOX should be getting this sort of 2-0 result every day of the week.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm pretty happy with how Annihilation ended up doing as well.
Yeah.
But standout for me, still Mick over the course of both those maps. Doing plenty of work there, keeping him in it, winning a couple of clutches on Ancient, but also doing the same thing over on Mirage, except a lot more entry work. And I feel like entries are underrated. Some people rate them for the most part, but I personally find a lot of impact out of those. And here you go, 15 and 4 and 10. That's almost the exact same scoreline as what he had in the first map. So congrats to Annihilation. He is back with a vengeance, and hopefully he stays back. Hopefully he stays playing. You never know. Maybe he could climb the ranks again if the AWP is kind to him. At the moment, AWPing still, it's still interesting. You kind of want to be a bit more aggressive with the AWPing. You see a lot of the best AWPers in the world currently get their best games when they don't actually end up buying the AWPs. So think about it. Cloud9, maybe they're onto something, huh?
Yeah, look, well, they thought they were until you kind of don't have all the players buying into the belief. But we'll see how things turn out for Annihilation, because I think the good early signs are there. The honeymoon period for them is over. He's been with them for a month now. They have had some patchy results, but hopefully they're starting to build towards something. The thing for me was this probably should have been an easier match for them if they had their full roster as well and didn't have to play with Flynn in standing in for Cabal. So, look, I think they're off to a good start here, but there's still, a few matches left to play. There's still a while to go here in Challenger League.
Yeah, there certainly is. And we've got another game tomorrow night. But for now, I need to bid you adieu. Thank you all for joining us here on ESL CS for ESL Challenger League Season 47 for Asia and Pacific. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.